friends, it's Margaret, and it is time to talk about all of the books I probably won't read in May. So my track with TBRs is not the greatest at all, but especially apparently right now between March and April, like I read everything in April except what was on my TBR, it feels like. I'm probably exaggerating that, but that's what it feels like. However, I have, as usual, not learned my lesson, so I'm trying a couple readathons this month. I'm trying a long-form project that you guys have probably already seen the video for. We'll discuss that, though, in a minute. Whether or not I actually end up reading the books on my TBR is not the point. TBRs seem to motivate me to read, even if it's everything but what I say I'm going to read. So I figure, let's do this again. I'm gonna do things a little bit differently than I usually do when I have a readathon. I'm gonna go through all the books that I'm thinking about reading this month, all of the ones I'm gonna be pulling from. They're options, and then I'm gonna go through the 2 readathons that I'm doing and which books fit which prompts. I am trying to participate in the Asian Readathon and Medievalathon this month, so make sure that you stick around so you can see which books I am reading for those. I have 2 groups of books right now. I have the books for the Best Friends Choose My TBR, which are my focus for finishing this month, and then I have some other books that I'd like to get to. One of them I'm definitely getting to. I'm like counting down the days until I can start this one, but I have 2 other audiobooks I need to listen to first. It's fine. Anyways, so I've read, or by the time you've seen this, I will have finished 2 of the books from that video that I did with my friends, and so the 6 that are remaining, they're getting read this month because I want to move on from this. So the first book that I have is The Tiger at Midnight by Swati Tirthala. This is a desert fantasy. I believe the main character, her name is Esha. She is an assassin, I think? I'm not sure. All I know is that she is dangerous and there's fighting and she's at odds with the other dude. Oh, she is a legend apparently. And yes, she's an assassin. And then it looks like the other main character is in fact actually a soldier who is trying to prevent her from assassinating the person that she is supposed to kill. So that sounds like fun. The next one that I need to read is Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney. I don't know much of this other than the fact that it's like a 12-year-old in middle school and he's keeping a diary, or a journal. It's not a diary because diaries are girly. It's a journal. Okay, kiddo. I also have A Girl with a Pearl Earring that I need to read by Tricia Levenseller. This is historical fiction. It is about the famous Vermeer painting, and I guess she imagined the life of the girl that he ended up painting. There may or may not be an affair that he has with this 16-year-old, which, okay. And then we have A Flame in the Mist by Renee Adier. This is a loose Mulan retelling. From what I understand, she's traveling and she is betrothed to someone. Ooh, that's exciting. She's traveling and she gets attacked by this black clan, and so to disguise herself, to keep herself from having to worry about getting hurt by these people, she ends up disguising herself as a boy and pretending to be a boy so that she can be protected and not attacked. I also need to read Shadow of the Sky by Rebecca Kim Wells. This is about a girl and dragons, and she learns to become a dragon rider, and there are not enough books about girls who learn to become dragon riders. So, and finally for that project I have Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I loved Illuminate by them, so I figure why not pick up another science fiction. It's about a group of ragtag people. Like the main leader gets the worst of the bunch, all the runs that nobody wants when he comes back because he's late. I don't know, there's someone who's been asleep for 100 years. It sounds like Sleeping Beauty, honestly. So I am interested though. I wanted to see where this goes. I've heard good things about it. I have friends who really like it, so I'm interested. Those out of the way, I also am going to be reading P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. This is the second book in the To All the Boys I Loved Before series. Long series name. I have watched the movie. I've heard it's very different from the sequel, so I want to actually, in fact, read this one now and see how I like it, you know, figure out what's going on. In the first book, we find out Laura Jean writes letters to all of the boys that she has crushes on, and she puts them in her closet, just kind of gets all the feelings out, packs them away, addresses them for some unknown reason, and then puts them in her closet. And, well, someone finds them and decides to send them out to all of the boys that she has liked. I would probably have died if that had happened to me. Or join the witness protection program. I don't know. I also am going to be reading Caliban's War by James S.A. Corey. I read Leviathan Wakes last week, might have been last week actually. I read it last month in April and I absolutely loved it. I love the TV show and it gives me such a great appreciation for the TV show, for all this stuff. Anyways, basically it's about these people who end up on a spaceship and having to save the universe because there is an alien virus entity thing that is trying to take over the world from what they understand. They have to go and try and solve this problem while also keeping Mars and Earth from destroying each other. So I am ready for the next book. I loved the first book. I'm having so much fun with the show, and so I love the extra level of detail that the books give the show, because the show is by far my favorite, but the books are good. Also, I'm pulling some from my Owls TBR. I have Beyond a Darkened Shore by Jessica Leek. If I remember correctly, it's about a girl and a guy, and they're on opposite sides of some sort of Viking-esque conflict, and they have to work together to stop something. Oh, apparently they're both having prophetic visions of like the end of the world, and they've got to do something about it. That sounds like interesting stuff. I also would like to read Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw this month. This is another one that was on my Owls TBR and I just never got to it, but I'm trying to get through things that are on my physical TBR. You'll notice that all of these are books that I, in fact, own, and some of them I have owned for a while, so I'm trying to get through them. Winterwood is about a girl whose name I don't remember because I've only looked at it once, but she and her family have a magical connection with this Winterwood, and then she finds a boy with missing memories in the Winterwood, and there's also a murder. If I remember correctly, was there also a murder? Okay, it looks like maybe there was no murder. The other one that I want to read is another sequel, and that is Storm of Locusts by Rebecca Roanhorse. I loved Trail of Lightning. I loved the world building. It is about Maggie Hosky. That's her last name. And it is based on Navajo lore. It is like, it's basically the Percy Jackson series for adults with a badass female protagonist as the lead. I was not happy where the last book left off. It's post-apocalyptic or dystopian, and she's having to deal with the fact that the monsters from Navajo legend are now walking the earth again. I am excited about this one because I think things are going to happen that I am going to enjoy. And the final book that I am going to try to get to, I didn't want to put the Infernal Devices on my TBR for the 5th time in a row. So just know that it is predicated on whether or not I can actually get through all of the Infernal Devices books. But I would like to read Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. This is the next generation of Shadowhunter books following the Infernal Devices. It's the sequel series to that series, and the Infernal Devices might be my favorite. I'm pretty sure it is my favorite Shadowhunter series. And so we have this one that is about the kids of the characters from the first series, and if you probably don't know this about me because it's not really common in YA, but I love books about the kids of the characters that we had in the first book. It's probably more common in YA though than in adult. Anyways, basically, I love it. I already know that it's going to be amazing because Will Herondale is in it, and that's all I can say about it. So now it's time to talk about both of the readathons that I'm going to be participating in May. Who knows? I might throw another one in there. I hear Tome Topple is happening. Maybe. I have a couple of books that might work with that. Oh, the Cassandra Clare one definitely would. Oh. Anyways. So, the first one that I am participating in is going to be the Asian Readathon. I will have the hosts and all the information for that one linked down in the description box. The first prompt for the Asian Readathon is to read a book by an Asian author. I will be picking A Flame in the Mist by Renee Adia for that one. The second prompt is to read a book with an Asian character that you can relate to. I'm going to be reading P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han because I have in my day written letters to crushes. Never addressed them, but I have done that. The third prompt is to read a book with an Asian character that is different from you, so I'm going to be reading Shatter the Sky by Rebecca Kim Wells. The fourth prompt is to read a book that is recommended by an Asian. I'm going to be reading A Tiger at Midnight by Swati Sirhala. This is recommended by Janani over at This Story Ain't Over. She really, really enjoyed it. I remember her saying wonderful things about it, and that's part of why I was ready to read it. So here we go. And then the final prompt is to read the group book Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I have already read that book, so I'm going to probably just settle for watching the TV show because there's already 12 books on this TBR. And I really should not. I should lower my expectations of myself. That's what I should do. For Medievalathon, there's a lot of different pieces. So the number of books determines your rank, and then you need to read books to determine what you wear, to determine your weapons, and to pick an animal companion. I am apparently more invested in what I wear and the weapons than the animal companion, but we're gonna try this thing. My goal is to read 7 books so I can be an empress. That's what I want to do. We'll see if it happens. So for the clothing options, I'm gonna try a few different things. You know, I like to have options, okay? Okay. So we're going to be trying for the one that is the shiny cover, the Tiger at Midnight. Obviously, I need to read this anyways. So I'm also going to be reading Shadow to the Sky to fulfill the prompt for a dragon on the cover. I will be reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid to fulfill the prompt for under 300 pages because it is at, it's actually barely over 200. And then I'm going to try for the prompt that is Read Green on the cover. I mean, if I don't make it, I won't cry because I've already got 3 options when it comes to what I wear as a medieval character, but I'm gonna try for this one. And then we come to weapons, which is the part that I am apparently most invested in because I want all of them. So the first one is the sword, and for that you need to read a book with something pointy on the cover. I'm using Beyond a Darkened Shore to fulfill that prompt. The second prompt is for the knives, and that is to start or finish a duology. This is part of a duology, so I'm going to be reading A Flame in the Mist by Renee Adia. For the bow, you need to read a romance, so I'm going to be, for the bow, you need to read a romance, so I am going to be reading P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han to fulfill that prompt. For the axe, you need to read a heavy book, so I picked the heaviest book on my TBR, which is Aurora Rising by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I almost switched their names around, it's fine. Then finally, for the shield, which is a necessary part of medieval weaponry. Like, if you don't have a shield, what are you doing? But for that one, you need to read a book that you have high expectations for, and that is Storm of Locusts by Rebecca Roanhorse. My brain just completely stopped right there, so I apologize for the pause, but this is what is fulfilling that prompt. And then the last prompts are for animal companions. I'm only trying for one, namely because I don't have any books that fit the horse prompt, so there's that, but also I feel like you don't need more than one of any of the other ones because that's just trouble. So I'm going to be trying for a cat by reading Caliban's War by James S.A. Corey. Definitely going to be getting a cat. I don't know if I will have clothes or weapons, but I will have a cat. That is everything I'll be reading in May and all the readathons that I am participating in. If you want to know how I did, make sure that you hit that subscribe button so you can see when my wrap-up comes around and you can judge me for not reading any of these books at all. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, there will be other videos right over here. You should watch some of them because you're already on YouTube. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye!